Hello, my name is Ali, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki Kyoto in Sanan's route. Let's go. He could have just completely disregarded my comment, but instead he listened to me. Emotions swirling, I bowed to him gratefully. He shook his head.
No, it should be me who is thanking you. I am very grateful. Speaking with you has improved my mood.
Something about the way he said that made me blurt out a question without thinking. Are you all right, Sanan?
My injury has healed, of course, and so I believed myself to be rid of that which held me back, but there are moments when I lose sight of what I am. I gave up my life as a human, so it shouldn't bother me any longer.
Sanan. He led the Fury Corps into battle, but he was also continuing his research on the Water of Life. Both took up all of his time, and he ended up isolated from everyone. Maybe he was even questioning his own existence.
I am a shadow, tied to the world of my past. A human life has no meaning for me anymore. Perhaps the rumors are true, and I really am a ghost.
He smiled bitterly, but through his ragged eyes, I saw pain. He was wearing himself to nothingness. I had to... What are we going to say? Let me see. We are going to say... Oh, not say. We're going to grab his hands. We're just going to say grab his hands. No. Grab a hand. I mentally sighed with relief. It seemed Sanan had recovered a bit of himself again, and I was glad. Ooh. CG. Sanan, can you feel that? Your hands are warm. Blood is pumping through them, just like mine. You may be a fury, but that doesn't mean you aren't alive like the rest of us. Sanan blinked, his eyebrows raising. There are times when I don't know who I am, too. I knew there were some who claimed that I was a demon like they were. Maybe that meant that also I wasn't a human. But still, even so, living is to be alive. I had no doubts. The truth of this matter was clear to me. A smile stole over Sanan's face. I love that when there's a CG, the butterfly is not even there. It's just a little confetti.
Perhaps you're right. I've not lost this life quite yet.
Warmth had returned into his voice. No trace of his recent harsh and biting tongue could be found. It seemed like I was finally seeing the old Sanan, kind and gentle once more.
Even if you are not human, and I am some kind of monster, we are still here, breathing, living, existing.
Right.
Thank you. I feel as if your words helped me step out of a fog in which I lost myself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep ordering you around. I hope he gets kinder. I really don't want him to, become evil. I've been not liking him for a while now, so I hope his route actually changes my opinion of him. Genuine appreciation from Sanan made my heart warm. I wasn't used to hearing such things from him, so I shook my head embarrassed.
I'm going to find out how far I can go until the very end. As long as there's still breath in these lungs, I'm going to keep moving forward.
Sanan. The words felt as if they held the weight of a vow, and his eyes glittered with determination. I sensed he'd made a serious decision, and he meant to abide by it with every fiber of his being. With Sanan finding some peace, it seemed the rumors of ghosts haunting the compounds faded. At last, after the long while in which I've made his acquaintance, Sanan felt the strength to move forward. October 1866. After the dust cleared, following the Hamagiri rebellion, the shogun set about cleaning house. The Choshu expedition was launched by the shogun once the Choshu domain were declared enemies of the court. Perhaps feeling they dodged a bullet, the Choshu domain fell silent for a time. Their obedience was short-lived, however, and before long their disrespect for the shogun became impossible to ignore. In order to investigate further, the shogunate decided to send an envoy to the Choshu domain. Kondo was asked to accompany an envoy sent to the Choshu to investigate their behavior. However, the Choshu domain refused to even meet with the envoy. Fed up with their insubordination, the shogunate ordered the second Choshu expedition. However, the war was a costly one, exhausting both the resources and the men from all over the domains, whose morale began to falter. To add to the fire, word of Shogun Eimochi's death shook all of Japan, and some domains even withdrew, which made the situation even dire. The second Choshu expedition had ended in a surprisingly major loss for the shogunate troops. October 1866. The pillar of the Tokugawa shogunate, which stood strong for 260 years, was beginning to show signs of instability. That day I was accompanying Saito on his rounds. It sure has been hot lately. I hate those cicada noises. I've gotten used to the city of Kyoto, but I just can't get used to this humid heat. Indeed. I always wondered. Even in midsummer, Saito always wore his full uniform. Wasn't he hot? He kept his vigilant guard up while observing the city of Kyoto. We can begin with this store and do our rounds. Wait here, Yukimura. There is nothing for you to do inside. All right. He gave me a short nod of confirmation and stepped into the shop with his men. It's the Shinsengumi. There are rumors floating around about Ronin coming in and out of here, so I'll have to inspect your store. Yes, sir. Of course. I'd been waiting for Saito and his division for a few minutes when I noticed a commotion nearby. Hey, out of the way! You got a couple patriots coming through here. A number of rather unpleasant-looking Ronin were making their way in my general direction, yelling, threatening, and intimidating anyone unfortunate enough to cross their path. Patriots? Hardly. Perhaps they considered themselves loyal to the imperial court, but they looked like the sort who only used their supposed patriotism as an excuse to steal and kill. Hey, you deaf? I told you to move. The Ronin tossed a poorly aimed kick at a child playing in the street. What should I do? It seemed like the warriors were preoccupied with their investigation in the store. Just as I was about to stop the Ronin. Desist, you hooligans! What's this? You think you can tell us what we can do, lady? Ha! A woman wants to pick a fight with us. Patriots, loyal to the emperor? Well, perhaps it is you who should feel pathetic for being told by a woman to stop. Don't you know how much trouble you're causing to the Kyoto civilians? You bitch! The man's obviously short fuse had been lit. He made a grab for the girl and missed. I suspected his next attack wouldn't be as inaccurate. I couldn't let that happen. GG. Wait. When I had come to my senses, I noticed that I had instinctively taken action. I had positioned myself in front of the girl, protecting her. Who are you? You know this broad? No, I don't. Then how's about you keep your damn nose out of my business? Flecks of spit flew from his mouth as he roared at me, and my legs suddenly felt somewhat weaker than they had a moment ago. But I was committed. I couldn't run now. If you truly love your country, as you say, then why do you abuse women and children? A samurai should protect common people, not attack them. What did you say? That's right, you tell him, son. How do you like that, you damn Ronin? Patriots, my ass. Get out of my city. Something about my speech must have struck a chord with the gathering crowd. With the cheers, my legs started to regain some of their usual steadiness. You son of a bitch! With the rough hiss of metal, the Ronin's sword leapt from its scabbard. Gah! I suddenly discovered I had difficulty swallowing. I could try to dodge, but if I did, he might hit the girl my actions had intended to protect. I was about to draw my sword. Yeah! Huh? Slowly, carefully, I opened my eyes. You needn't worry. I used the back of my sword. Saito!
Rag! You!
Take them to headquarters. They may be Choshu.
Yes, sir.
Working quickly, Saito's men set to work binding the Ronin for transport. Saito's cold eyes fell on me. That was reckless. Why didn't you call me? What were you going to do if they hurt you gravely? I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking. But I couldn't help myself. I mean, what if she were to get injured?
The gentleman is right. You were dreadfully reckless. I had the situation quite well at hand.
A scolding from Saito was expected, but I hadn't thought that my erstwhile damsel in distress would contribute. I'm sorry I made you worry. I gave her a short, slightly confused bow, to which she blinked as if suddenly remembering something very important.
Oh, but you did save me, didn't you now? And I haven't yet thanked you. How crude of me. Thank you.
Oh, well, I didn't do anything. It was Saito and his men who made the actual arrest.
Oh, you needn't be so modest. It's way more respectful than just being a bystander. I suspect that this, our meeting here, is Providence. Young ladies must watch out for one another in the city.
What? Saito glanced from her to me, and an expression flashed across his face that I couldn't quite place. You can't expect to fool everyone. There's no need to worry about it.
Oh dear. Was it supposed to be a secret? Perhaps I shouldn't have mentioned it?
I wasn't entirely sure how to respond. How does a person respond to that sort of question? She seemed to sense my confusion and gracefully moved on.
I'm terribly sorry, but I don't believe I've even asked your name. How terribly boorish of me. I should very much like to be friends, but it is difficult to become acquainted with the nameless. Might I inquire as to who you are, then?
Well, this is...
Oh, I know who he is. Mr. Saito, yes? The Shinsengumi is frightfully famous here. And you are?
My name is Chizuru Yukimura. It's nice to meet you.
Yukimura?
Her eyes grew wide as if she were surprised, and she stared intently at me.
Your last name is Yukimura? Were you born in the East?
Why, yes. I was living in Edo, but I had come to Kyoto for a certain reason. She was acting a little strange, so I tried to speak to her, and she laughed and looked up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's nothing. It was the same last name of my acquaintance. I think Yukimura is a really pretty last name.
You think so? Thank you. Well, I'm going to let you guys go here. I know it's super short, but it's getting hot in here and I need my AC. So I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.